Hello and welcome to Torment, Tides of Numenera. So I checked out Lady Ansie's stock, and she didn't have much with her, but he had a Varat, the other side of this shadow ring we picked up earlier. So you can maybe just use them now. You pull the first ring fragment from your bags. At first it looks like you've misplaced the second, then you find it pressed onto a fold at the exact opposite end from where you found the first one. You reach down to grab it, but you find that you can't. The fragments reject each other with a force beyond magnetism alone. You pick up the second one with your other hand and hold them in opposing palms. Examine Barat. You hold the ring fragment to your eye. The fragment's edges are rough, as if sundered by a mighty strike, but on one end you can still see a socket that might have fit a gemstone or something else. You weigh the other ring fragment in your hand. The fragments feel like they should match somehow, and the protrusion and socket clearly fit. It is almost as if they cry out to you to be joined. Combine Araf and Barat. Pinching the fragments between thumbs and forefinger, you struggle to bring them together. The force repelling them is not magnetism, it's almost as if someone is holding your hands apart with impossible, contemptuous strength. Nevertheless, there must be a way to join Araf and Barat. You just haven't found it yet. Do it with brute force. My brute force? I mean, my brute force is worthless, so I might as well do it myself. Ever so slowly you force the ring fragments together, pushing your way through the massive force repelling them. The closer you bring Araf and Vera together, the more they seem to resist. Beads of sweat form on your forehead and your muscles scream in agony. But then finally the moments you force the rings to touch, the repelling force completely dissipates and the two fragments eagerly latch onto each other. A complete shadow ring lies in the palm of your hand, shimmering with barely restrained power. 4 resistance and 2 relativistic damage attacks? I'll take that. I don't know. Possibly one should have it who's all about just punching people to death. How about you take that? And Eratis, if it's all about punching people to death, it's Eratis. And also, he needs the resistance. He now has armor and resistance. He just always runs in and does crazy stuff. Wow. He's just crazy. 8 armor and resistance. Suppose we are the weaklings here, Matkina. Never mind that. Anyway,
I'll handle
hey,
it.
might as well continue with you, Mammoth. Levy arm. Your eyes are drawn to the tethered leather robes and the profusion of tubes that wire this man. He's lighter skinned, with the piercing eyes and a hideous pitted scar on his face. He could be handsome, but centuries of neglect have ravished his looks. He sees your companion and hisses. Matkina. What about this newborn castle that could have motivated her to come back here? Matkina's voice is flat and measured. Melmoth, you know, I've always wondered if you were to die, would your followers eat you? Yolan, for instance? How did that ever turn out? Ha! Yolan! That's a name I haven't heard for some time. Your old friend left an inedible corpse, probably to hide the crimes you and he had planned. Now look, you've been away for a while. I understand your memory isn't what it was. He trails off. Did I dream someone telling me that? Was it a vision? Bah, no matter. What was I saying? Something about my memory. A trenched and witty comment about my powers of recollection, no doubt. His only reply to her is a long, unpleasant sneer. He looks at you and says, You're traveling bad company, sibling. Angel her and she'll find a way to scar you. Even if she leaves no other mark on the world, likely she'll leave pain. It's immortality of a sort, I suppose. He barks at a short laugh. Cast of humor, you'll learn. Okay. Adiris told me to come speak to you about the tides. You'll find none better equipped to answer the questions. Certainly the tides are an inextricable part of us. And he snaps a clamp on one of the attachments on the tube. Wait, she sent you to me? Peers closely at you. Interesting. Every time I talk about the tides, she argues with me, as if she'd spent a fraction of the time I have in studying them. What game is Adiris playing? She probably said that we bring pain through our existence. Let me enlighten you. Everyone brings pain to others. I have experienced so many lives in memories, and one of the common threads in all of them is pain. Do we hurt others someone? We do. But how do we differ from any mortal in this regard? Show me someone without pain and I'll show you a corpse. He winks, and I'll eat it.
Making a note.
Okay. We are imperfect. We leak tides, or absorb them, or both. Our powers impinge on the minds of others, upon their nervous system, if you prefer. We draw strength from them. We change them in the process, and not usually for the better. This is regrettable, but unavoidable. Adiris might have said that the sorrow is hunting us because we abuse the tides or some such nonsense, but if that's the case, we are doomed by the nature of our existence. If true, why not use the powers we have? Adiris thinks that the tidal surge on my birth was responsible for a devastating argument between two humans. It's entirely possible. The tides are a psychic force, and when we are born, our minds snap into a particular shape and force out the residue. An unprotected mind nearby might well absorb some of that energy and react in unpredictable ways. But what of it? Does this change anything in our life? Two mortals had an argument? Oh no, boo-hoo. How do you know so much about the tides? He sighs as exasperated and holds up his bony hand, folding his fingers back as he counts. 1, I am hundreds of years old, I can devote this kind of time. 2, I'm dedicated to knowledge. 3, I'll do anything in this pursuit. 4, I've learned to draw memories from dead people. 5, I sought the dead who could teach me about the tides. He lowers his fist. Follow that trail of thought. You'll find me at the end. That's how I know. And what do I do is do this. And why do I do this, do you think? Let me tell you, since you clearly wanted to ask. It's because the changing man thought the tides were important. He uses the tides to shape us. Do you want to know more about how you were created? I did. And so I researched the tides. The reason for this is that I am not an idiot, unlike so many of our siblings. Oh, smack talking the cast-offs, are ya? Why do you think the sorrow pursues us? He waves a finger at you. I don't waste my time worrying about it, like worrying about the death of the cosmos. It'll come sooner or later. You want supposition? There's a list, because of our mad creator, vengeance, sneer, bloody-mindedness. Maybe it loves the tides, or loathes them. Could be it hates what we are doing with the tides, but if you talk to Adiris, you'll find she'll never use hers. I use mine all the time, yet the sorrow would destroy us both. He adjusts one of the tubes on his outfit. I worry more about the deaths of others, and how I might gain some of their knowledge. Not about the first dead vendetta, not our creator's desire to kill us. Not certainly. Not an unstoppable monster from the past. What did you mean when you said the tides were an inextricable part of us? Did you think that you could come back from the dead because you were born lucky? Our bodies require tidal energy. Cut us from that energy and we dissolve. It's the way we're structured, the way our sire created us. He invented a mental matrix and imposed it on the bodies he grew. I surmise that this matrix is what allows his consciousness to transfer and what allows the tidal energy to permeate our forms. Without it, he grins and pulls his hands apart. Splush! But we have the advantage of being able to draw on this power from our own uses. He constructed each of us along different lines. And because of that, the patterns that hold us are different. It is any wonder that we should be able to channel this into tidal surges. Tell me again why the tides are tidal. What are the tides anyway? Where did they come from? You know, they are a psychic energy field. They pervade the greater Sagus Protectorate, but the pockets of tidal activity are localized in the Ninth World. That suggests that though they are a natural force, they are also artificially induced. Civilization have risen around their use. He frowns, and civilizations have fallen. He scratches his nose. Odd thing. I've sought to decipher the accounts of those times, but the creatures that made them are strange. The sorrow shows up in images and sounds and spectra I can barely understand. He taps his head. That's why I sought a better method. You got the occasional disease, strong mind that doesn't want to share its memories with you, but everyone wants to be remembered. Talk to the voices long enough, they realize you're their only true heir. Can you tell me anything more about the history of the tides? Maybe, if you eat my corpse when I'm dead, you can learn some of what I know. The knowledge I have, too much for the spoken word. Let me ask something else. He squints at you, then runs. Rolling at you won't make you go away, I suppose, so ask. Tell me about yourself. His lopsided smile seems like more of a grimace. I'm Malnote Leviarm. I'm the creator of the Dendrahur, the greatest or at least most innovative of the brotherhoods that seek to pass along knowledge from one generation to the next. So many people back away from me because of the way I look or the way I speak, but let me tell you, that in this body I have lived countless lives, seen endless worlds, experienced memories that beggar description. I contain worlds, and they judge me by my appearance. Sometimes I wonder who I am saving this knowledge for. What can you tell me about the Dendrahur? They call us the Eaters of Death. We take the knowledge from their fading flesh. Every life flickers and dies, and when knowledge disappears, the world grows darker. The rain of death washes away experience I want to preserve. Each of the Dendra is a library of experience. Feral grin flickers on his mouth and vanishes. Every life that vanishes is a loss. Every person living has a story. The secret keys of history hide there. I want truth. I want exposure. I want knowledge to live. Yes, I mean, like, it sounds great, you know? Like, not the body eating part, but like, have the experience of a dead people. Sounds great. I mean, like, sounds great in theory, but the process of getting it, kinda icky, you know? Consuming a body in whole, I mean, like, that's just gotta be it. Can you make hamburgers out of them? Maybe that is a thing. As a Dendrahur buffet, something like that. With all, can you tell me more? No. With all your acquired knowledge, you must have a unique outlook on the endless battle.
I'll remember that.
A waste of life and criminal waste of knowledge. Weapons being discharged are lost to us forever. Each life gone is an experience that will disappear into the mists of energy. The mists of eternity. Snuffed away, forgotten, never to be seen again. He leans in. Our sire sought to cheat death to stop that kind of waste. It is beyond my reasoning why he allowed the endless battle to continue. I'm looking for myself. Him? That useless tinker? Why? I need him to fix the resonance chamber. He staples his fingers, lost in contemplation. A resonance chamber. I remember the term. Something about the building of it. Crystal, the particulars escape me, but Muzzle would be the one to fix it. Too bad he's not here. Try asking Adiris. What can you tell me about the Dendrohur? What can you tell me about other castles here? He leers an ugly smile. They're idiots and fools. They think their shields can protect them from the sorrow forever. I came here to retrieve some research, and every time I come, I think of how much knowledge is in their minds and their bodies. I wish they would just die already so I could gain access to their wasted experiences. He scratches a small infection on his hand. On the other hand, they're the closest I have to peers, gods. What does that say about me? That you're really hungry. See you later. Don't eat anything I wouldn't eat. Oh, you eat anything. Wow, I love that.
Consider it done.
That is the perfect line as a cannibal. Wow, cannibal jokes. I love that. Hey, Castledon. Possibly I should have talked with you. I just like saw this guy. I'm like, no, I'm off.
I'll handle it.
Hey. This man is less flesh than muscle, running in corded bands from his thick neck down his broad chest, wide arms, and calloused hands. He focuses on you, his cold eyes flicking from your face and the shape of your tattoo to the width of your shoulders, like a prospective buyer sizing up a particularly dangerous animal. He's here, the one I heard about, but he is a resource or a threat. Then he smiles, and it is as wide and genuine as any you've ever seen. The most advanced of our sire's children, here at last. I'm surprised you didn't make your way here any sooner. Resource, of course, and a fine one at that. At least until he proves otherwise. So, you think of me as a tool to fight in your stupid war? Who are you? I am the Chalcedon, commander of the Changing Gods forces in the Endless Battle, the guardian of his grand design and his champion. He raises a self-deprecating hand. Not that our sire truly needs my help, of course, but some here in the very land he created for us would rather acknowledge all he's done for us. He shakes his head slowly. Some of these disagreements can be resolved through debate, but not all, of course, not all. Have you seen the Changing God lately? No, but that's not unusual. His strategies absorb most of his time, which is why he leaves most of the work in the Endless Battle, and the diplomacy in MLFS to me. He flashes a grin, and as you might imagine, he measures time differently than us. It's been a number of years since I've seen him. I doubt our sire has noticed. Has he forgotten us? Has he forgotten me? That's cool. That's cool. We've not talked for years, but hey, he must be thinking about me, okay? What is the Endless Battle is about? Ingratitude, he says with a deep, calming breath. Our sire gave us long lives and powerful gifts, a home to protect us from the sorrow. The first caster wasn't content. She spread lies about our sire and turned some of his children against him. He presses his lips together. She's dead now, but the damage is long done. Our family is divided. The first army would see us destroy the Changing God and seek the freedom from his plans for us. He growls under his breath. They are stubborn children, refusing the medicine that will save their lives because the taste isn't sweet enough to their liking. Matkina chuckles to herself. The large man turns her way, scowling, and she holds his gaze. He is the one that looks away. Tell me about the changing god's grand design. As you know, he moves from body to body. He does this to test the capabilities of those bodies to their fullest, to ensure their strength. And when he has done so, he gives them to us, gives us life, so that we might continue using them in service of his plans. He's like a sculptor, owning his art. He raises a finger. So you see, he's not flitting from body to body like some manner of a vapid insect. Each cast off is an improvement over the last. He lays a hand on your shoulder. And that means, of course, that you are the best of us and most suited to help us end this conflict. Oh, come on! Matkina snorts. The Castledon completely ignores her. Saddest, most obvious begging I have ever seen. The sorrow will find us. Before that happens, we must end our conflict with each other. We must prepare our defenses. We must find some way to stop it. You know, the most obvious way to end the conflict is just to withdraw from it. I'm looking for a cast-up named Mazov who can repair the resonance chamber in Sagos Cliffs. I'm sure that will stop the sorrow. Really? Of course. His eyes, he says his eyes gleam. Mercier told me of the plans to build it. I should have known. He lays bracing hands on your shoulders. Speak to Adiris. If you haven't already, she will know where to find this Mazov. Who are you again? You will love it. You're not upset that I operated the... Damn it. You're not upset that I opened the portal? Well, he says, chuckling. There's a touch of unease in it. You notice? I argued for the portal's closure to begin with, so I'm concerned that it's open again. But I trust that our sire knew what he was doing when he made you, so I have no doubt that the weakening of our defenses is a smaller part of his greater strategy. Ah, and should something happen, well, I will be safe for certain. Okay. Don't be so sure that I save your butt. Right. I definitely want it done right.
On my way.
I'm not Leviar. We've definitely talked. I don't want to miss anyone here. But they love running around. Andros, Sandhard, and Raima Syro. Hey there. This man's face is flushed and angry. Veins throb on his forehead and his eyes are focused on his companion. Stop talking, Raima! He spits each word, gripping his weapon belt with bloodless fingers. Stop talking or I'll prove you wrong right now! You planned this? Ridiculous, I would have known. Oh, but I wouldn't do anything of the sort. Raima replies, grinning as though she intends to eat the man whole and screaming. Even this argument is part of his plan. Do what you have to do, Andros. If not for the law, you'd already be dead, he says and spits at her feet. Traitor, fool! You child, she says with laughing scorn. You ingrate! A typical first militia response, angry indignation. This is no way for family to behave. They simultaneously turn silent. Incredulous looks your way. This is exactly how our family behaves. Matkina mutters at your side. Get used to it. What are you arguing about? Best to stay out of it, Andrews says, slashing the air between him and Raima with his hand. Even a second of her bootlicking nonsense is a waste of your time. He's hide from the truth all you want. Hide from the truth all you want, Rima says, shaking her head. You know I'm right. You know it. Neither of you actually told me what you were arguing about. Just get lost. You go, you do a 180 and go away. You do a 180 and go away, and that's it. Of course I didn't, Rima says, grinning. Andrews never lets me get aboard in Edgewise. Why should I? Andrews says with a bitter laugh. All of your words are his. I've had enough of him for a lifetime. Tell me what you're arguing about. Grinding his teeth together, Andrews merely shakes his head. She clutches under her breath and runs an easy hand over her scalp. How long have you two known each other anyway? Too long. Agreed. Tell me what you're arguing about. Grinding his teeth together, Andrews merely shakes his head. Oh, fine. No lollipops today. Just saying. Okay, where the hell are you?
All right.
I talked to the kids and I talked to the shop. Oh, Lady Ange, and talked to the kind of crazy person. Also, I talked to the Kool-Aid guy, and also talked to the guy who eats everyone. And surprisingly so, I have to say, he's the most reasonable of everybody, along with the shop lady, Lady Ange, and you. It definitely doesn't feel like a sanctuary of the gods. Have you spoken with Melmoth then? What did he say? He said the tides are within us all, and that we should use our powers as necessary. I imagine he called me a fool, and worse, he has done more research into the tides than anyone else here in Mila Vest. Tell me, did he say anything else? He said I should ask where your powers come from. If not the tides. I walk with them. They are not, as far as I am aware, any manifestation of tidal energies. It's not as though we have a measuring apparatus, of course, but I think I would know if I were using these forces. Why? At any rate, I sent you to speak with Melmoth. Do you believe that he has conducted his studies with anything but his own power in mind? He definitely loves knowledge, and maybe have some love for power, but he's definitely not a power-hungry man. I don't know his heart. I can't claim to know what's in his heart. He seems to care deeply for the preservation of knowledge. I like that. He seems self-absorbed and lacks empathy, so yes, I think he's focused on power. I wouldn't say that. I was under the impression that beneath his exterior he cares deeply about others. No. I don't think he cares deeply about others. He definitely doesn't look down on others. Like, I only had one talk with him. He obviously puts knowledge first. But he does care about people at some level. He seems to care deeply for the preservation of knowledge. So he says, and he has certainly gone to great lengths to do so. I don't believe in his positions nor his conclusions, for he may have inflated the results to justify his actions. But he refuses my mind's touch, and he rebuffs my attempts to inquire more deeply. My own personal views are, of course, irrelevant to the deeper truth that he has his own motives, and they may be purer than mine. Knowing what others know is awesome. Sounds awesome in theory, but what Adirius does sounds a lot more better, because you get to know what others know and feel by touching them, or just using some kind of power, telepathy, whatever. And you just share experiences that way. And if you can do it with a corpse too, that would be great. But eating corpses and only gaining knowledge when eating corpses just seems like a fuss. And you gotta eat the whole corpse.
Making a note.
So I have another task for you. Andros and Rima are arguing. The recent negotiations between the Chalcedon and Pi broke down, and the two have taken it hard. They are like to come blows if they cannot be reconciled. She bows her head. If one strikes the other, the laws of Milavest are clear. The attacker will be evicted. I don't know if the Sorrow is truly more active, but they came here choosing safety. And it is my wish that they have it. Please, speak with them. Will he take control outside their minds as well? Or will he let them choose their own path? Adiris, of all of us here, you are the only one who doesn't seem to want anything, who isn't openly manipulating the others for her own benefit. So what's the play? You say we are free to choose and do our own choices. So what choices are you making? What do you really want? She's using everyone. She just doesn't want to admit it. Maybe it's vanity or maybe something else. That's quite a paranoia there, Matkina, but I'm happy to show you otherwise. I mean, like, the best thing Matkina could have in her life is just a lot of good people hanging around with her. In her long life, she became cynical and paranoid and just thinks bad of others. And she's right. A lot of bad dudes out there. But there are good dudes out there too. And, you know, you gotta give people I would say you gotta give people a shot, but, you know, you can't just call them all bad. Here, Adiris' answer. She smiles at Matkina sadly. What I want is an end to our stupid internecine warfare. I want us to work together. The squabbles between our sire and those who support the legacy of the first mean nothing in the face of the sorrow. But get any two of us together and the larger threat vanishes while our death creeps closer still. She gestures to the beauty around her. Milavest is a garden, a cage. The sorrow can come in, but we can't leave. Have you seen animals locked in a magarine? They are restless cage, yearning to be free, but if they leave the cell, they are hunted by their would-be keepers. So it is with us here, but instead of uniting to solve our problem, we lash at each other. I would see us set aside those differences. You are my older sister, and so I am cautious in saying this to you, but you have a certain reputation. Even among the rest of us, you are known to be hard, unforgiving. You carry grudges through centuries, even beyond death. But Kina, please, you need to let go. Her voice rasps from her dry throat. Nearly all the authors of my tragedies have been our kind, our sire and his abandonment in my moment of peril. The first and her order is to slaughter my village. Pi, who blooded her blade herself. Dash, who claimed to be friend and turned on me. Malmot, who offered me aid and betrayed me to the authorities. She turns her head to glare at Malmot nearby. Need I go on? Do you always act with full knowledge, sister? Are your choices made rationally, with forethought? Or do you react without thinking? Think on this, and think of what example you set. Forgiveness is for the weak. Wow, that's just pushing her over the edge. You can forgive them, Matkina, but never forget what they've done. I wouldn't say... No. I don't know, I won't say forgive them. I suppose it's kind of hard. I would say let go of the old hurts. I like that a lot more. I would say forgive them. She's right, Matkina. It's time to start letting go of old hurts. She smiles radiantly. You have been given a wise companion, Matkina. You have been given a wise companion, Matkina. I'm not asking you to change now, only to consider change. As for you, youngest child, go and speak to Raima and Andros. I'm confident your wisdom can help them as well. Alright, farewell. Best of luck, friend. So we need to talk to the children. And
Ready.
It was suggested that we might have the option to use the tides, but she's curious if we can do it any other way. Idiris asked me to mediate your dispute. They react exactly like sullen children. Andrews folds his arms and turns away from you. Raima flushes and stares at her feet. That's what I called them anyway. Alright, she mutters at last. Tell us what you need to know. First, exactly what you are arguing about. I think that's the wrong approach, but what do I know? I suppose you just explore the argument. If it's silly, if it's not, like, try to resolve it. I don't know. I mean, like, I would assume they're arguing about the bloody endless battle. That's just dumb as hell. The two watch each other warily for a moment, as if speaking first will somehow forfeit the argument. We mostly disagree, he says at last, on the amount of respect due our sire. Who cares? He arcs a cold eyebrow at Raima, a silent question. He gives a reluctant nod. Tell me what's troubling you, Andros. I just don't understand her, he says, flinging his hand in Raima's direction. The changing god abandoned us our birth, then fed us lie after lie when he chose to speak with us at all. She claims he has a master plan. I see a man who serves himself, first and always. He doesn't care if he die. Even I care more if Raima dies than our sire does. Siblings? Ha! Sharing that bastard's consciousness doesn't make us related. He barks a bitter laugh. Did you know that he sparkled the whole war from my body? He got first angry at me, then ditched this shell, leaving me to deal with the consequences. Good thing that first knows the difference between the face and the mind. He rubs his eyes. But Raima, look, I know how she feels. The sorrow's hunting us all. It's nice to think that the changing god has a plan to protect us, but it's just not true, I know. He glares at Raima, then looks back at you. There's a fine line between wishful thinking and suicidal idiocy, and she's dancing on it. She has to face the truth. We are on our own, and this battle is going to get us all killed. That sounds like a reasonable side. Okay. Summarize your... Never mind that, let's hear Raima's side. It's simple, brother. The endless battle is a test. Andronos' side has been failing it for centuries. Our creator managed to annoy the first enough that she stormed off in a huff. He even did it in Andronos' body. You think that this big oaf of all people would understand what our sire was thinking? Like, he's not here to tell you what he's thinking. She shakes her head, laughing. The fact of the matter is, our father created the sanctuary for us to protect us from the sorrow. But hiding isn't a strategy. Eventually we'll have to take the battle to it. The gleam in her eyes is banged fire. And when that time comes, our father wants an army who will follow his orders without question. He allowed the first to spread her doubts, and the traitors among us have flocked on her side, to her side. She tosses Andros a scornful look. You have to admire our father's logic, she says with a shrug. We deal with the weakest among us before we face the enemy that wants us all dead. And that's it, she says with an elegant shrug. Simple, like I said. Andronos simply can't accept that his grand rebellion is all part of our father's plan. Can't accept that we owe our existence and ongoing survival to him. She sneers at Andros. If you hate this sanctuary so much, why not leave? And he wants to kill each other over it. Better to spend our lives in the war itself. Before I make any decision, what sort of solution would satisfy you both? Wow! That's an interesting question. Neither of them speak for a moment. Their faces are identical sculptures of surprise. I don't know, he says, glancing at Rayma. Nothing you could say would make us take each other's side, and with apologies to Idiris, I don't want to get along with Rayma. I've hated her for too long, no offense. Her lip quirks. Honestly doesn't offend me. She looks over at you. And we need a decision. You can't please both of us. Our points of view aren't even going to line up. Let's summarize your arguments. Let's talk about something. Can we do that? Let's talk about the dispute again. Summarize your arguments for me, Andros. Rayma won't face the facts. The changing god doesn't care about any of us. And when the sorrow comes, we are on our own. That sounds reasonable, Rayma. I think that the first rebellion is all part of Father's grander plan. Andros just can't accept that. That's just crazy. So Andros gets like 4 points for his argument, 4 out of 5. Reyna gets a big fat 0. Damn it. I mean, like, you don't know if the changing god doesn't care about you guys. I mean, like, changing god, from what I heard, changing god is not as empathetic as most would like, and it's definitely selfish in a way, but in a way values free thought and lets his children live, and like lets them have free, like, the mind of their own. So it's not too bad. I mean, like, I would say it's not too bad so far. Like, Rayma, you're just talking crazy. You're just saying that the rebellion is part of a grander plan, and Andros can accept that. I mean, like, but Andros says that the rebellion needs to stop. We all need to unite, and whatever the changing god might be, or whatever he might want, the castles need to unite, and you can only depend on yourself. Rayma, you're saying that, you know, you need to wipe out the other half to show the father that whatever his plan is according to you, but he didn't tell you, his grander plan is just to show that he is a strong army, then I don't know, and the rebellion is part of a greater plan. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, it's just crazy. You lost me so early in that argument. That was crazy. All along crazy. I heard your arguments. I'm ready to resolve your dispute. Question is, how do we let off Rayma, how would we resolve this without really pissing them off? Andros and Rayma go still and stoic, showing no sign of the emotion they displayed before. In the moment, they look very much alike, like family. You're endangering everyone with this petty argument. Both of you must leave Leo Avest until this is settled. I like that in a way, because it just shows that there are no... I would say there's no arguments allowed here, but this is not a place for that. I don't know. It's more about just, you know, just more like doing this as an example. Andros, she's right. You clearly hate it here. Leave before this argument turns to violence. Rayma, he's right. Our sire doesn't care about us. Sometime outside Neil West might convince you of that. Now, the reason I took away 1 point from Andros' argument is because he said that the changing god doesn't care about us, which is a very solid argument. I mean, like, not an argument, but it's a good point. But you can know that. I mean, like, in a way, it's kind of like you can just replace it for God. So whether you're a believer or not, you can just say that hey, God cares about me, or God doesn't care about me. It's irrelevant. Irrelevant what you care about God, you just gotta do your thing, and that is what Andros is suggesting. Rayma, you're just crazy. Rayma, he's right. Our side doesn't care about us. Sometime outside Meal of S might convince you of that. Go. I want you to stop this argument right now. Neither of you is right. Do you really want to break the truce? To kill each other over a point of view? The thing is, they will not accept that. I think I might just throw my hat with one of them. Raima, he's right. Our side doesn't care about us. Sometimes outside. But why do I have to kick her out? I don't get that. Do you really want to break the truce to kill each other over a point of view?
Updated my journal.
Andros opens his mouth, shuts it doubtfully. Finally he speaks. You're right, we're safe here, but the sorrow is circling. If the rumors are true, I don't want to do its work. Alright, she says, letting out Regba. Just, let's talk about something else, Andros. Can we do that? But now, how's the weather? It's pretty good, okay? I did it.
One moment.
I suppose choosing sides would have been bad. Have you helped Rayma and Andros come to a conclusion yet? I managed to persuade them to their senses. They agreed to a temporary peace. She claps her hand softly. Well done indeed. To be free to choose is a part of life in Mielavest. We must own our choices just as we own our responsibilities for the outcomes of those choices.
Making a note.
Before I can allow you to alter the course of a brother's life, I would hear your opinion on something which touches the lives of all our kind. You have no doubt heard of the endless battle. But what do you know about it? Why do they fight? And who is right? She bows her head slightly. If perchance you have heard only a little about the conflict, you may wish to speak to your brethren before answering.
Making a note.
What is the point? She sneers. The endless battle used to mean something. It used to be people with principles, but they lost sight of their true goals, and it became a self-perpetuating war machine. I don't think the first could stop it now, even if she were alive. It's worthless and stupid. I doubt either side knows what they fight for anymore, if they even care. It's a not uncommon opinion, Matkina, at least among those of us who abstain from the fighting. She turns to you. What about you? Have you an opinion as strong, or do you wish to gather more information before giving an answer? I can give you an opinion on the endless battle. Very well. What do you believe the point of the endless battle is? Like any war, each side is trying to achieve its goals through force. It's for senseless violence caused by pride. Frankly, it's none of my business. Killing each other is a deeply rooted instinct. It's human. Nah. There's no point. It's a waste. It may have mattered once, but it was devolved into self-perpetuating quagmire. Remember Talana and her man? The only purpose it serves is to ruin the lives of those it touches. Tell her what Berikel said. Tell her what Berikel said. The endless battle makes us stronger through conflict, more focused. Fighting is pointless, but still profitable. That's why it continues. Nice. We got the Ferengi answer last. So, which one is it like? I would have been happy to just throw my head in with one of the sides. There's no point, it's a waste. What do I identify with the most? It's war. Senseless violence caused by pride. There's no point, it's a waste. A waste, really? It could be argued that our kind has grown stronger through continued conflict. grown in one direction. I wouldn't argue it, but still. No, it's a waste of innocent lives. Like any war, each side is trying to achieve its goals. It's not only the lives are lost, but the lives changed. The lives, those who remain, and those, the culture is like forged. I mean, like it just changes a lot. Maybe those who are die are the luckiest, at least for a time. Think that until the world changes away from war, you know. Yes, but it. So I wouldn't say it's a joke. Remember Talana and her man. The only purpose it serves is to ruin the lives of those it touches. Fair point, I admit, but does it ruin all the lives it touches? Do some benefit? Indeed. What of the suppliers, the camp followers, the arms merchants? You would strip away their livelihoods in the name of peace? An interesting opinion. Did Akastov really voice it to him? Well, I would say even if they... Well, they could probably make another type of thing. They're part of the problem. The endless battle only creates devastation. I mean, like, yes, I mean, like... That's the last thing. That's why I was so harsh against the... How was that woman? How was she called? The recruiter woman in the bar? I mean, like, seriously, you're recruiting women for an endless battle? I mean, like, that's just gotta be, like... That's just gotta be crazy. They're part of the problem. The endless battle only creates devastation. I mean, like, you don't have a lot of morals if you're just selling, like, weapons for war. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, violence could have a place, you know? As a self-defense, you know, if it comes down to it, I accept that. If you need to do that, or perhaps against some people, I get that, but not everyone just fighting each other. I mean, like, well, one side is fighting for the changing god, and the other side is fighting who doesn't care about it. The other side is fighting for the first, who is already dead. So, what is this war is truly about? When they are part of the problem, the endless battle only creates devastation. She nods. There is a merit in standing by one's opinion. Only be certain that in doing so you do not shut your ears to the opinions of others. I'm pretty convinced with this. She claps her hands together. So, why do you think I have asked you this? No, let us start from the first ask. Why would I tell you to talk to Melmoth when he ridicules my beliefs? You wanted me to expose me to other viewpoints? And precisely. When we have incomplete information and we expose to alternative, opposite viewpoints, how do we judge which is true? We must reach a conclusion at some point. But unless those conclusions are backed with incontrovertible evidence, you must never imagine that you have the sole grasp on the truth. And what do you imagine I intended when I asked you to intervene with Rayman Andros? Get rid of the troublemaker in middle of Vest! I should make a playthrough like that. Well, I'm kind of like ignoring Tippy here and Rin. I don't know, Rin got lost. Is she even a follower you can stick with for the rest of the game? And we also don't have Calistige, so I probably need to do a let's play with them at one point in the future. I only gotta play it like a badass. Maybe as a Jack or possibly a Glaive. I maybe suck at talking and just... I don't know. It would be good to fail at the conversation options all the time, and just like have to be forced to solve the problems differently. Hopefully not with fighting all the time, but you know, differently. So what do I think of those children? To get rid of the troublemaker in middle of us. Just kidding. To resolve a dispute with regard for both parties' feelings and motivations. I wouldn't say it was a resolution. To learn how to make decisions and stick with it. I think it was the resolve. To resolve a dispute with regard for both parties' feelings and motivations. This is exactly so. My intention for you in this task was to have you change the lives of your siblings for the better, while they still control their own bodies, to offer them alternatives and see if you can provide them a route through their troubles that maintains their core goals. Then we come to the question of the endless battle. What purpose did that discussion serve? Some sort of psychological test, I guess. I love it. Who wrote that dialogue? I love that. I wanna click on that. I played the Planescape Torment as kind of like a barbarian. It's so tempting to praise that, but I'm kind of playing this like as a clever nano, changing my beliefs with alternative viewpoints, perhaps to learn more about the battle and understand the truth behind it. I don't know, perhaps that, or changing my beliefs with alternative viewpoints, perhaps. Yeah, I think that's the first one. Correct and astutely judged. The goal in all of this was to make you question your assumptions, to see things through others' eyes. She owns your gaze. It may be that nothing of import happens in Zarian's mirror. You might enter, speak with Mazov, and leave without altering him a bit. But even if so, there will be other mirrors. What if the next one is Melmoth's or Rayma's or even mine? Whose assumptions will you take with you into that life? Whose goals will you accomplish and at what cost? You have the power to change the course of a life, of many lives, without their permission or even their knowledge. You will have to weigh their desires against your own, deciding whether the needs of your life are more important than theirs. You have to know, with the utmost certainty and integrity, what does one life matter? Seek your own answer, but brother, that is what matters most. Whoa! Got some answers, eh? One life doesn't matter, except in so far as it serves a greater whole. Nah. Each life is important. Every person carries a world of potential. Each life should benefit others. Okay, that's a bit of a hippie answer, but I don't really mind that. One life doesn't matter. It's an infinitesimal spark. It's an infinitesimal spark against the timeline of cosmos. This game definitely likes fancy words. It matters only as much as we let it matter. We make our own meaning, our own truths. I like that a lot. Because life is inherently worthless. Nature doesn't care about life. There's no purpose to life. There's no purpose to your life. You know, your purpose in life or your life is matter as much as you think it matters. Or your purpose in life is your own. So your life matters as much as you perceive and others perceive it to be. So that's it. I mean, like, it's gotta be the fourth one. Life matters only if you experience it. Let it wither and stagnate. It doesn't matter at all. What is life but the memories we leave behind? You're not dead until you're forgotten. What matters is money, power, and fame. That's what I'm talking about. All life can find new knowledge, making new discoveries, passing along knowledge, making humanity greater. That is the purpose of life. Like, there are many, many purposes to life. Like, every single person have different purpose to life. And you have no purpose to life. Or just, well, they will all have, well, that's again, a deep topic. Just saying that life doesn't exactly have to be, like, measured in those things. Like, making humanity greater, or knowledge. I'm like, you know, like, if you're not doing those things, then your life has no purpose. Like, it could be like countless other things that are meaningful. If you're talking about legacy, who cares? What matters is that you build something and you use your life constructively. Damn it, I know I was fucking up something. What matters is continuity of life, having children, creating more life, passing along experience. Fine, but I like the fourth one. It matters only as much as we let it matter. We make our own meaning, our own truths. I mean, it might seem a little bit colder than some, but it is just exactly it. Your life matters as much as others perceive your life to be, as your others perceive your life worth. Like, some people might not value your life whatsoever. Like, if you don't know people, like, some people just bored, you never met them and die. What their life matters to you? It's worthless, right? You never knew them. Like, in a way, it's worthless. And but the life of all those who are close to you, or perhaps your own life, I'm like, you probably put a higher value on that. So it very much matters. Like, a lot of people don't have that experience like real life. But like, for example, in games, you're often like asked to like sacrifice people or something like that, and you just realize that, oh shit, I actually like some of you better than the others, and you just end up sacrificing those who you care less about. Perhaps that is not the real meaning. Like, what does one life matters? What does one life can change? I'm like, ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, like, one life is worthless, it's meaningless. I mean, like, what does it really matter? I don't know. Seriously, you're not one for like small talk, right? And I love that. Let's go. Just, yeah, let's go. Let's go with that. It matters only as much as we let it matter. We make our own meaning or own truths. Yeah. What kind of a direction was that? The gray? Was that a neutral one? This matches my personal experience as well. We have meaning where we find meaning, chaos where we lack it, yet you would do well to examine this belief.
I'll remember that.
From within her robes, she produces a small, clean box, stylized version of the changing god sigil is emblazoned across the top of it. This is the Mircaster of a caste named Zarian. One brother looked onto it once and reported seeing Zarian in the fields of Ossifagam, and later speaking with Mazaf. I'd highly recommend you take care of any unfinished business before you enter the Mir. You can change the past, after all. Anything might happen. Let me know when you're ready. No, I will return when I'm ready. Seriously? I need to go. Wow, this just takes me another direction. What did I miss? Does this take me to the next area? What? Find the endless gate. I mean, like, we need to do that. Oh, we need to tell Phoenix that we found his tomb. Serve your child. Ask around about Choi. And will contain few leads to follow, but the name of the young girl was mentioned, Choi. This valley is full of the dead and their memorials. Maybe someone knows more about what happened to her. Oh, shepherd. Ah. After finding Herder's crook in the Valley of Dead, of Heroes, I heard Ertis' voice inside my mind. Could Ertis have done something to me? Okay. But it looks like it's about time to take a break. And I don't know if this takes us to the next area, but it does. It looked like it.
Fine.
I don't know, maybe it's just a side area, but hey, might as well just do something before. At least make an effort to do everything we can before that. Anyway, that's it guys, hope you had fun, tell me if you did and see you around. And have a good one.